Hi everyone. Let's just wait for a couple of minutes for people to join. Okay, I can see a couple of people. Let me just wait for what's the time right now? Yeah, let's just wait for 2 or 3 more minutes and then we shall start today's episode, which is on automatic negative thoughts. So kindly hold on till that time. Another minute and I shall start. Thank you for staying connected. All right, a very warm welcome to all those who are watching me live right now and those who will be watching the recorded live later. So, today's episode is on something which more or less every one of us have faced, and things which are pretty common with overthinkers. And even if you are not an overthinker, you probably would have experienced this some point of time in your life. So it is called automatic negative thinking. In our psychology, we call it ANT. So GT. Now, why ANT? If you see that when it comes to ants, there is always they follow a cue. There are they just follow each other, and there is a cue that follows, and one is behind the other, and there is this kind of a thing which you can see on the walls or um, on your windows or doors or things like that. So ant, that's the nature of ants. So basically automatic negative thought is when one thought is followed by another negative thought, then it is followed by another negative thought, and it leads to a complete feeling of, you feel suffocated, you feel extremely overwhelmed, you feel that you're not able to breathe, you just feel suddenly out of nowhere, good mood, and suddenly you feel extremely depressed, extremely sad, and you just feel hopeless basically. So keeping that in mind, the how does it all start, this automatic negative thought? Nobody is born negative, right? But this automatic negative thinking, due to certain assumptions that we probably had in our lifetime, or certain belief system that we have tend to form over the experiences that we have encountered in our life, we tend to think that this person is like this. We tend to read certain situations in certain manner. We started giving meanings to certain things, and basically there is a whole lot of assumptions that goes around when we have when we have faced or encountered certain situations. So what happens is, for example, you have thoughts like, yeah, nobody listens to me, or everybody is same, or he's like that, or she's like that, she's always into this, I could not do this, that means I'm a failure, that I have always failed. So this is not the first time, last time also it happened. So what is happening is there is this chain of thoughts that are happening, and one negative thought is leading to the other negative thought, that is leading to the other negative thought, and probably you started at a very simple small note, but by the end of your negative thought, this loop, this makes you feel horrible. And this is what is called automatic negative thinking, or ant, where one is following the other, and there's a chain, and there is like, even if you spray those anti those hit kind of stuffs, and you spray on that, for some time it's gone, but again it comes back again, the lines of ant comes back. So basically this is how it works in automatic negative thinking. Now, what what is the result of this automatic negative thinking? Now, one negative thought leading to other, the other, another, another. When it happened for a long period of time, it forms something called cognitive biases. Now, what is a cognitive bias? A cognitive bias is when we start thinking in a particular fashion or a particular manner or pattern. We cannot think outside of that. So, for example, if I can have a cognitive bias of overgeneralization. Now, what is overgeneralization? Every time you do this, probably the person has done it only once or twice, but you just name it as every time you do this. Or you can just say that this is called either or not, like either this or that, nothing in between. So you are either coming with me tonight, or I'm never going to talk to you. Okay, either he's calling me right now, or otherwise it's over. So this kind of thought patterns, or there it can be certain other thought patterns, like for example, minimization. Now, what is minimization? When somebody has done so much for you, but one, you don't consider it is important. When somebody has done enough for you, but you don't consider this important, and you just pick the thing which he did not or she did not do correctly, and that becomes magnification. Hello, Chandrani. I can see you have joined. So, I've just started about 5 minutes back. A little recap on what I said, so that you know what I'm talking about. So, and or automatic negative thinking is basically, the name has come from the characteristic of ants. If you have seen that ants follow each other, it follows a queue and things like that. So, in our life, people we have encountered. Things, we have encountered various kind of incidents, we have encountered various issues in our life, or we have started looking at things in a particular fashion. It has led to the development of certain assumptions and belief system. With the help of these assumptions and belief systems, it it can lead to a spiral of negative thinking. Now, what is this spiral of negative thinking? Just like the ants, you think that I don't think I will be able to do this, and from there it goes to, last time also I could not do, and last time also they said they will do this, but I know they are not going to do anything about it. I just feel hopeless, then my life has no meaning. I'm also suffering like this. This, so it continues. It starts from this, and then it becomes this much, and suddenly, which is a very small thing might be, it becomes so magnified that we feel horrible about ourselves. We feel suffocated and extremely overwhelmed. So this is called the automatic negative thought, and that's why the name has come from ant, because it follows one another. One leads to the other, one leads to the other. And all of this is happening because we have formed certain assumptions, we have formed certain belief system about ourselves, or people have made us form certain belief system about ourselves, about the situation around us, about the world, about the people, or our previous experiences have told us that this is always going to be like this. So it cannot be other than this, and that leads to this spiral of negative thought. Yes, before every work these days, I feel like it takes time to bring back that confidence. Yes, and it did not happen. Like, nobody was born like this. It is somewhere like we have been, and we have encountered certain various circumstances in our life. We have encountered various situations in our life. People has made us believe like this, or one after other incidents have led us, have made us believe that this is how it's going to be, and that has shattered our confidence level, and which leads to this automatic negative thinking. So one leads to other, one leads to other, and it becomes too big, it becomes a black cloud, and it starts to dawn upon us, and that's how it all builds up. Now, what happens after this is, automatic negative thinking is the first step. Now when this automatic negative thinking is happening for a long period of time, it leads to the formation of cognitive biases. Now almost every one of us have certain cognitive bias. Now what is cognitive bias, which I was saying is a pattern of thinking. The way, I'm thinking in a certain way, like there are many cognitive biases. I will have a separate live next month only on cognitive bias, but I'll just give a few examples which will help us to understand what does automatic negative thinking makes us do. Cognitive bias for can be like general overgeneralization. Now overgeneralization is if somebody has not done something. Let's say I could not do something today, or I have missed 2 times out of 10. But the person on the other hand who's suffering from this cognitive bias of overgeneralization, they will say, you always do like this, you never follow this. Or if you fail once, you tell yourself, I'm a complete failure, I just cannot do this. This is called either or all thinking. Either I am successful if I clear this, or I am a failure. It is either or all thinking. Or which I was saying, minimization. Minimization is I can do so many things, but I will just not consider any of this. Everything is very small for me. Or magnification, that everything is good, but one thing that you did wrong, I will pick that up and I will say that this is incorrect, that is why you have a problem. So it is not that the person has done this or person has formed this cognitive biases willingly, but the thing is this constant this constant spiral, this constant loop of automatic negative thinking and assumptions and belief systems leads to the formation of such cognitive biases. Now, when we are operating from such cognitive biases, it impacts our life choices, it impacts the way we behave and feel about ourselves and about the people around us. That leads to the formation of something called the cognitive triad. Now, what is this cognitive triad? This is called Beck's cognitive triad. Cognitive triad is considered as one of the major reasons behind depression and anxiety. Now, what are the three components of this cognitive triad? The first component of cognitive triad is how I feel about myself. The second thing is how I feel about other people. Third thing is how do I feel about the entire world and the world feels about me. Now, all of these is happening inside my head. Nothing is a reality. I see certain situations in a certain way, and that's why I interpret it like this, because it has always happened like this, so it will always be like that. And that's why I start thinking in that particular fashion, which leads to certain self-belief that I cannot do this, I am like this, I am a failure, I am this, I am that, whatever it is. Or he is like this, or she is like this. And that leads to when I feel something about myself and I feel something about the other person, that impacts my view about the world around us, and then I become absolutely hopeless and helpless about the world, and that leads to the formation of depression. So basically it is very easy to say that I am depressed, but depression can stem from different situation, or anxiety can stem from different situation. Now you can ask me what is this, why are we thinking something like this about us and something like this about others? Even though we have cognitive biases, we can choose not to think like that. Yes, we can. But in between this cognitive bias and the cognitive triad, something else comes, which is called the Pygmalion effect. Now what is this Pygmalion effect? The Pygmalion effect is it is like a cycle. I feel like this for myself. This Pygmalion effect, which comes in between the cognitive biases and the what you call the cognitive triad, it impacts our perspectives. When I say that it's all a matter of perspective, this perspective gets affected at this stage. Now, what is the perspective? I see you are behaving like this with me. Okay, so I think you have some problem with me. And when I know that you have some problem with me, my behavior, my thought change. If my thoughts change, my behavior changes. If my behavior towards you change, then you would also have certain understanding that why her or his behavior is changing. And now your behavior is also changing in response to my behavior, which is, and that I am not considering that, but that is reinforcing my thought that yes, you have some problems with. Once again, it's a little confusing, but I'll just explain it again. Let's say I have some problem, I feel that this X person has some problem with me because of certain behaviors. That behavior might not be related with me, or might be anything for any matter. Maybe some jhagra has happened yesterday, and this person is behaving something indifferent with me, and I feel it's a repercussion of the last night's jhagra. But the thing is, it can also be some other reason. But I am thinking from my cognitive bias, it is like either or all. यही इसी कारण से होगा. And now what is happening is, this person, I see that this person's behavior is different towards me. And when this person's behavior is different towards me, my behavior is also changing. It can be good, it can be bad, whatever it is. Pygmalion effect can work in the positive as well as in the negative thing. So if my behavior changes towards this person, my action would also change, because my thought impacts my behavior. So my behavior and my action changes towards this person. Now this person feels ये अभी भी ऐसे behave कर रहा है, इसका मतलब उसी कल रात का झगड़ा होगा. So, and this person's thought and behavior is also impacting, now changing, and now I see that more and more this person is behaving out of their character, which means मतलब मैं सही थी, मैं सही सोच रही थी. And like this loop of Pygmalion effect comes, continues. It's just like that. For positive also it can happen, for negative also it can happen, and that leads to the formation of this cognitive triad. So just imagine this small negative thought. If we all get negative thought, there is nothing abnormal about it. But when I'm continuously getting, automatically the negative thoughts are coming. It's like autopilot mode. एक switch on किया, everything's are happening. That it, but particularly basically means that this is the first step which can lead to the formation of cognitive biases. And if cognitive biases are forming, that can have this Pygmalion effect, and can lead to the formation of the cognitive triad. Now these are our technical terms. So at the end, what is happening is, my self-belief, my perspective towards others and myself is changing, which is continuously leading to this negative thinking. So the question comes is, what can I do about it? At the end of the day, that is my question. What can I do about it? Can this change? Yes, because this is very common with overthinkers. This happens always, and somehow things fall in place like that, and we start feeling it is because of that incident. Yes, exactly. So basically, the problem is, we have this habit of, all of us. We all have the human brain. Actually, the human brain needs closure. That is the whole thing. If the human brain needs closure, that basically means that if I am not getting clarity from certain incidents from someone, I would put in my assumptions and my ways of closing that question mark in my brain, and that impacts the relationships or situations even more. So I don't feel like communicating, and these things are happening inside my brain. I am thinking in one way, one is leading to the other, and one is leading to the other, and my assumptions, basically, that impacts the overall perspective that I hold about myself, about other people, about the world, about everything around us. So now the question is, what can I do? So can I do certain meditation and can I get it out? Yes, baby. But if you really need to solve this problem, the first thing is, if I just solve the behavior or action, it can come back, because that is not where it started. We have to come down to the root cause, which is the assumptions, because our assumptions impacts our belief system. So if assumptions are impacting the belief system, and from which is impacting all our negative thinking, all of these technicalities that I spoke about, that means I have to impact, and I have to work on the assumptions first. In order to work on the assumptions, the first thing is, I should be ready to be proved wrong. The major point is, most of the people are not ready to be proved wrong, because they have already formed certain belief systems and they don't want to break it. And that's where it becomes that stubborn thing, that this impacts our negative thought processes. So I should be ready to be proved wrong. Okay, I can be wrong. And if I can be wrong, that means there is always a chance of have a different assumption or a different perspective towards that situation. So if I have to break or if I have to challenge my assumptions, I have to go much, much, much deeper at our work. And here, two things works miraculously in stopping the automatic negative thinking. The first thing is the progressive muscle relaxation, which relaxes the brain. Actually three things. The first is the progressive muscle relaxation, which relaxes the negative feeling and the stress from your body and your mind, which is my favorite, which is called PMR. The second thing is, whenever the spiral of negative thinking comes, immediately just say stop, because this is called pattern break. Our brain is thinking, let's say you, even if you're thinking something very nice and suddenly there is a loud noise, your thoughts gets distracted, right? You get a little kyolo, kya hua? You just become like this. So immediately when this continuous spiral of negative thinking is coming, just loudly say stop. And when you continue to say this stop, it basically breaks that thought pattern. So if I have formed certain assumptions and belief system which is impacting my life, it is impacting my choices, my beliefs, my self-belief, my confidence level, everything, then I should be the one who should be breaking it instead of somebody else. So if you have to break your belief system, keep on telling yourself stop. Whenever this negative thing, stop. So like this, so it's like a big rock. If you just say one stop, nothing probably would happen. You have to continue to hammer it till it breaks into small pieces. This is another thing. The third thing, which is extremely beneficial for automatic negative thinking, is called the thought diary. For people who are part of the mental health group of Sanhati, they know that I've always recommended thought diary. Now, what is thought diary? It is, you make certain columns in the diary, 3 columns. The first column is the date and time. The second column is the thought. Then the third column is the alternative thought. Now, the first column, for example, right now, 11th of March, what's the time? 8:30. So 11th of March, 8:30 p.m. I write that date and time. And I get a thought, I don't think I can make it. I just write this thought. After I write this thought, my action should be just deep breathe. Just deep breathe for maybe 1 minute. Just deep breathe, continue to deep breathe. And force yourself to think positive. Force, like literally force. You know you cannot think positive, but you have to force. It will sound very mechanical, but what we are trying to do basically is we are trying to rewire the brain and change the assumption system. So not working on the actions, but we are working at a much, much deeper and core level. So what we are doing is, you write the date and time. This time, this year, this thought has come. It can happen that in a day you get 100 such thoughts. You might say, do I write all 100 of them? Yes. The answer is yes. Because when you keep on writing such negative thoughts, it will tell you, is there a pattern? It will tell you what are the cognitive biases from which you are operating. It will tell you what kind of Pygmalion effect you have developed. It will also tell you if you have developed the cognitive triad that I spoke about. So when you keep on writing these thoughts, then you forcibly try to say, no, I think I can do it. Because you can ask anybody, whoever has used thought diary, when you might just say, okay, मैं positive सोच लूंगी. नहीं, सोचने से नहीं होगा. You have to write. You know, when we were young, we were told कि लिखे लिखे पढ़. You know, you write and you mug up. Why? Because when you write it and you mug it up, it gets into your brain. It gets more into the brain. So if that is the thing, if it gets so much into the brain, that means when we are trying to do something with our life, we are trying to make a shift in our thought processes in our life, it's very important we write down the negative thoughts and forcibly write the positive thought which we want to think. For the 4, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, you might just feel, what, it is such a fruitful exercise. No, it's not. You would see that after some time, the amount of negative thoughts tends to reduce and the pattern tends to change. And slowly, very slowly, suddenly there are no negative thoughts. Not so much that it will impact you. I have so many examples of people whom I have recommended thought diary, and they have come out of anxiety disorders. I have asked them, no medicines, just anxiety disorders. You can be cured through PMR, thought diary, and just tell yourself, stop. If you're outside, you can ask me. If I'm outside, I cannot write. Nahi thought आया अभी लिखेंगे. No, you can't do that. I know that you can't do. But what you can do is you can just say to yourself, stop, and you can also do something which is called deep breathing. Because the moment you breathe deeply, it increases the level of endorphins and the good hormones and reduces cortisol, which directly impacts your negative thinking. It reduces the negative thinking. So it's very simple step that you have to change the assumption. See, even the light lit up automatically. I don't know how, but whatever it is. So even if you know, these are very simple things. If you have to make certain simple changes in your life, and you can see a magnanimous shift in their perspective. I have seen people, I had automatic negative thinking. Mane, you will have to write the positive thoughts when you get the negative thoughts, yes, but not immediately. কারণ সেটা সম্ভব হয় না. So three columns. The first column is the date and time. The second column is you write the negative thought, exactly what happened. Then just close your eyes, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breathe, calm down, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Get a hold of yourself, get a hold of your brain, your heart, and then force yourself. No, this is not it. So it is basically you're telling your brain it's time to change your syllabus, it's time to change your course curriculum. And now that is how the rewiring starts. But will this only work? No, these 3-4 things work together. First is PMR. It works miraculously. PMR along with thought diary, this is one combo. Along with this combo, is it like doing affirmation? I'll just come to that point. Along with this combo, you will also have to do the deep breathing when you are outside. Like a few days back, I've shared a post which says like a power of breathing. So do that. And the most importantly, if you're outside and there's a constant spiral, stop. Just say that. Is it like doing affirmation? You can say that, but it is not always affirmation. You don't have to say always that I am strong, I am this, I am that. Although you can say that, but it can be specific to that thought also. For example, if there is financial crunch in your home, so at that time, if you start saying I'm financially abundant, that is also okay, but it can be more specific that your thought is I don't think I can last this month. And you can just say that I'll make arrangements, I'll make some changes, I will cut down on the unnecessary expenses, and I will be able to manage this month. And not only this month, I'll be able to manage every month. So even if it is an affirmation, but it is not those affirmation that we see on the internet. It is more like just customizing it based on the thought that you are having. Now, does it work? 100%. 100% work. You have examples in Sanhati also, that for people whom it work, it actually works miraculously. When people start writing the positive thought, you would see that so many good things starts coming out. In fact, but everybody has the good things, but it is just suppressed under this negative, this cognitive triad, this automatic negative thinking, and this thing is have to come out. I'm having I'm having some issues with my health, and I'm feeling that again I will have to go through the painful journey. What should I do? I'm worried. Yes. Okay. So when you feel that you again have to go through the painful journey, it is because of my previous experiences. Okay. Here, what you can do is 2-3 things. First thing is there is a guided imagery is there, not the one that you have. Guided imagery or hypnotherapy is there on healing, on painful, on the body pains or the experiences that you have. That is one thing. The second thing is, which you can do on this, would need some assistance, which definitely I can help. But what you can do on your own is PMR is something which you can do, and you can start doing the thought diary. When you say, I can feel that I have to go through the surgery, this is what you feel. So wait for some time, deep breathe. Okay? No, a lot of cells have recovered, my reports are normal, everything is fine, and I should be doing well and good. I will not have to go through this again and again. Because you know that if we are continuously thinking negatively, we are also manifesting those negative thoughts in our life. So let's not manifest those things. And so PMR, stop saying the stop, deep breathe, PMR, thought diary. These are the 4 things anybody can do on their own. But what you can also do to a deep level resolution for this, definitely a hypnotherapy would work wonders here. And second thing is the guided meditation. The guided imagery can be given, which you can do every day at night before sleep, so that it impacts your subconscious, and subconsciously these thoughts goes, because these thoughts are not conscious, like these are deep rooted in the subconscious mind. Because even when you were going through that operation or surgery, your subconscious mind was awake, so it has the memory. So basically we have to wash out those memory, and that can be done wonderfully through hypnotherapy. So that is one thing you can do, where I can definitely help. But on your own, what you can do are the four things. First thing is PMR. Along with PMR, it is the thought diary. The second thing is saying the stop loudly when such spiral of negative thoughts are coming. And fourth is deep breathing. Breathing works wonders. So now Shrestha is asking how to do positive breathing while we have the negative thoughts. Like this, exactly what I was just saying. Whenever you have spiral of negative thoughts, stop. You will see that the negative thought just breaks. It breaks the pattern in your brain. I just said that when you think very deeply about something, and suddenly there is this loud noise outside, and you will become like this. It changes your thought process. So that's where the thought diary or the PMR comes into picture. What is PMR? It is progressive muscle relaxation, relaxing every muscle of your body by taking some time, starting from the top of your head to the tip of your toe. So it's every time it's not possible to do like that. It is actually possible every time to do like that if you want. But if you want to do it, you have to do it at a deeper level. It is not that we have to do it at a superficial level. And the deeper level starts with PMR, thought diary, stop, and deep breathing. These are the four things. And a much deeper level than this is hypnotherapy. One hypnotherapy sessions, 20% of the problem solved. And it can be done online also, so there is not a much of a problem. People who have done hypnotherapy, they know how does it work. So that should not be a problem. So Chandrani telling you, if you want hypnotherapy, just tell me, we can do that. That is not a problem. But on your own, there are things that you can do, and these are the four things, right? PMR and thought diary are the most important. Telling stop when such negative thoughts are coming is important, and deep breathing. These are the four things you can do to stop this automatic negative thinking. And much deeper level, a guided imagery can work, and hypnotherapy of course can work. Okay, so that is pretty much of it. It is possible. It might sound that it is impossible, but no, I have examples. Now previously I used to say, because theoretically, but I have examples live, whom all of you are like all of you know her. I have helped, like this person has come out of this automatic negative thinking, and have actually solved their physical problems. They were suffering physically, and have solved that problem. So it is possible. But the thing is, you have to do it. It's not that you will do it only once. You will have to do it every day. You will have to do it day on day. You probably have to do it couple of months, and you will see a magnanimous shift in your life. Just these four things if you do. Even if you don't want to take hypnotherapy, even if you don't trust my hypnotherapy, I don't mind. But trust yourself and do these four things. It will work. It will work magically. And automatic negative thinking is something which is solvable. I do PMR mostly, it helps me a lot. I will start with the stop and thought diarization process. Yes, please do that, and do deep breathing. Deep breathing is something which you do, and thought diary is something which you can keep in case you're outside and you're getting these negative thoughts. Just record in your voice, and you cannot loudly say stop. Just record in your own voice stop, and play that. Keep on playing that in your earphone. Stop, 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 and brain stops. The problem is brain is our servant. We are the masters. The problem starts happening is when we start becoming the servant and the brain starts becoming the masters. That's when the problem starts happening, and that impacts our perspective. That impacts everything. So if you have to do something, you have to go one step beyond and start. We have to start solving before the problem occurred. We cannot start solving when the problem has occurred. So we have to go one step beyond and start resolving the problem. I have I witnessed that, and also for me, you've done a lot. Thank kudos to you. Thank you very much. So please do these 4 things for people who are suffering from automatic negative thinking. And if you want to go one step more than this, I have tools for that also. But these are the 4 things you can do on your own. All right. So that's pretty much about today's live. And the next live will be on our Facebook page on oral health, because we have the World Oral Health Day this month. So that day, Shrestha will be going live. And till then, please work on this automatic negative thinking yourself. You can do wonders. You can do magic in your life. It is not you cannot. Everything is in your hand. We just have to key it in a different way. Thank you, everyone. Please take care of yourself. Thank you. Hopefully, I'll be able to overcome too. Of course, you will be. You are already under therapy, right? You don't worry. You will be able to overcome everything. So again, root cause. We will not, for you the cause is different. So the root cause, we have to go into the root cause and just uproot it from there. ऊपर से solve होने से automatic negative thinking नहीं जाएगा. We have to go much deeper level and just uproot it like this and throw it out of our life. You will be able to overcome. Don't worry. I'm there. So take care, everyone. Thank you very much.